ダメだねダメよダメなのよ
Moving on, today we're gonna do a HoloLive or Vtuber layout for YouTube, Twitch, or whatever platform you're streaming and recording with. These are some really easy, simple overlay you can make, and I'm actually going to be working on GIMP, since GIMP is a free software, pretty much a bootleg of Photoshop, but since it's free and it works pretty well, I'm gonna give it a try, and hopefully we can make an overlay for free and you guys can make, and hopefully you guys can maybe learn something from this video. Hey, what's up guys, my name is NextSwitch TV, or Mr. Snubbles now because I changed my gamer tag recently. Today I wanted to make a new video to show off my Vroid that I recently made. I might do more of a VTuber content to say. I don't know if my Vroid is actually tracking my face, so it's kind of hard to tell honestly, so bear with me if my Vroid is acting up. It's kind of new, it's the first day of the job, so yeah. Today we're going to learn how to make a basic Vroid template, and I already have one pre-made, and this is what we're going to be working on today, or this is what we're going to create, and hopefully I make this an easy video so you guys can recreate and make your own. Now the only reason why I'm showing you guys this now, and maybe tell you guys that we don't really need a webcam here since Vroids tend to be in a corner like what I'm using this right now, so maybe we're not going to make a webcam, and just show you guys how to make a template raw in an easy way in terms. So first things first, we're going to start out with a 1920 by 1080 template. I guess if you're going to stream on 2080 by 720, you can recreate the same thing, same process. Just press OK. Now this is pretty much going to be the background. It's already labeled as background, so you don't need to label anything, which is great. I guess the next step is to make the in-game box. So we're going to create a new box here, and we're going to type in in-game or in-game. So press OK. Now hopefully my Vroid tracks are well with me. So now we click here on the rectangle, and we're going to click on the black, and we're going to make a box pretty much. So first things first, you want to drag it the far right corner, and whoa. So like now, don't put fixed ratio yet because we don't want to fix anything yet. Just click we'll do that at the very end. You just want to make sure this is long enough, and then now we can change this to 1920 by 1080, and press enter, and also put the fixed ratio. Now this is 1920 by 1080, and now what we want to do is fill this with black so we know what we're working with, or we could do white, but we want to do black. Oh, this is black, this is a different thing. Now since it's already filled, the next step is pretty much scaling this to the right dimension. So here we can again change it by 1920 by 1080, but you don't really have to do this step really because we're going to change the dimensions right now. But again, if you want to do it, just do it, and then click again. Now we're going to make the in-game box, so you want to drag to wherever, how big you want your in-game box to be. It already has 1920 by 1080, so as its aspect ratio, so it'd be good when you put your video game in there. So I guess we can leave some space from the top. I guess drag it a little bit like this. Like this looks fine. And usually the sweet spots, I would say, is somewhere between the height of 880 or between 880 and 890. So right here will be the sweet spot for your content stuff. And then you press scale, and now you have your box. Now we have to make this as a new layer, and again you can rename it, put in game, because apparently you would have to delete this bottom one eventually, so just press delete or delete layer, and yeah. So now we have our first box, and with the same technique we can make this other two boxes. The first thing we can do is duplicate layer, and this can be the chat box, and it doesn't matter what order you want to do it. So now you press scale, but this time we're going to unlink it so you can move it freely. But first we're going to try to move it this way like this, and now you can unlink it, and now this is where the size of the chat box is. Now I'm trying to make this video very fast so you can like essentially learn it quickly and maybe do your own overlay in GIMP, since GIMP isn't really a well-known since GIMP isn't really a paid Adobe Photoshop. This is a free software, so I'm trying to do this as fast so you guys can learn as well and maybe do it on your own. So now we have this chat box done. You scale it, and yeah, we have our box done. Now we're going to duplicate again once more, and this is going to be the webcam. But like I say, you don't need a webcam for VTubing, but this is just a quick way for, and this is, you don't need a webcam like I said for VTubing, but this is for the audience if you guys will ever want to change or use webcam. It's much more easier. You just right click again. This time all you gotta do is just drag this here, and you do want to link it so you won't lose the aspect ratio, and then just pretty much drag down and to however big or small you want your webcam to be. You want to leave it some space because we're going to add like a little border here to give some details, so I think that's fine right there. And maybe a little bit bigger, maybe 330 will be a sweet spot, I guess. And yeah, there we go. We have our three main things for our overlay. Since this is a VTubing overlay, you don't need a webcam. So whenever you want to put your avatar, like mine is, you put it here and it will cover most of this space. So you don't need it. But for this reference, we're going to be working with this as well. So now we're going to add like a frame like. Essentially, you want to add a new layer under the in-game. You can put this as frame 1 or in-game frame, depending on how you label it. It's easier to recognize which way when you work one. So in-game and frame 1. So frame 1. So in-game, we're going to go to the fuzzy tool, and we click on this big box, which essentially is in-game 1. Right click, select, grow, and the sweet spot is 7, and they just add like 7 more pixels to the outside. And with frame 1, you grab your bucket tool, and now we're going to pick any light colors. VTubers tend to use like these light colors because it gives it more of a mo look or kawaii or anime look, something that it's cute, you know. People, that's what VTubers tend to go for. And yeah, you just color those frames outside, and it should cover, and it should look like this. Now you just go back to in-game with the fuzzy tool, click again, and we could do layer, transparency, off with your selection, then you press delete, and lastly delete. Now if you do have this problem right here, sometimes it happens, sometimes it don't. You technically did delete the frames here, but as you can see, we made a box on accident and within this area, so it's easy to remove this step. So if you messed up like I did, which I hope you don't, you can just easily just delete this layer and just make a new background layer. It just eliminates the problem of redoing everything again. And then just drag this at the very bottom, and then go back to your original color or whatever color you had, and just fill it. Just make sure it's select to none. And yeah, all you gotta do is go back to in-game, and with the fuzzy tool, click the middle section again, and go to layer, transparency, off with your selection. Just press delete 3 times again, And if it didn't capture that one, oh, it did it. That's weird. There we go. Now there we go. So it should have happened like that earlier, but I guess I didn't. I guess it wasn't selected when I deleted. So now we deleted it, which is great. And again, you do this with the same process. So you don't need to do it for chat box, because chat box, you don't want to leave it transparency because you need something in order to read chat, but we can still add the border for it. So we'll just do a new layer and we'll put chat frame. You can label it however you want. You don't even have to label it. I just label it to make it easier to know where I'm working with. And of course, you right click this, select grow by 7, chat frame, grab your bucket tool, grab your color, your kawaii color should I say, paint this, and there you go. I think for chat box, normally you want to reduce the transparency. You can leave it pink, or you can leave it like blackish as well. I don't know, it depends how you want it really. I figure I will leave like a little bit black, so it gives it a little bit of darkness, so the white text can pop up here and won't affect the overall look. And now the webcam, again, you would have to do the same process of it. Webcam frame, or just put FR, not France, but you know, you get the gist. And again, with the fuzzy tool, click on this box, select grow by 7, bottom right, not bottom, just bottom right, paint this, webcam, layer, transparency, off to selection, and then delete, and background delete. So we do have this little box here, and this is part of frame 1, as you can see. And you go to frame 1, I don't know really what's the fastest way to erase it, but if you want to erase it quickly, just grab an eraser, make it a little bit bigger from the start, so 81 looks fine, and you just go quickly as you can. Well, not quickly, but you know, just erase as much as you can, and then just reduce the size. I hate when this happens in GIMP. I really do hate. It just annoys me, but it's part of the program. I guess it's easier for some people. You press Control and you move in with your middle mouse circle from your mouse. So Control and your mouse zooms in, zooms out, and yeah, you just zoom in and then try clean the little bits of it, and then keep going again. And yeah, there you go, clean. So we're not done yet. We're going to add patterns just like this right here, because we want to give it a much more like a splash, you know, like a pattern, like, so it makes it look good and kawaii. So now we're going to make a new template or a new project, but this time its size is 250 by 250. Press OK. Doesn't matter what color the background is, because it's going to be a transparency. It's pretty much a PNG, and we're going to import a PNG. In this case, I have a fish PNG. This is what we're going to use for our pattern. If you don't know where to get if you don't know where to get free PNGs, I have this website called Pixabay. You can go to it, and this is essentially where I got the fish, and this is essentially where I got the fish PNG, and this is what I'm actually using for the tutorial. So you can get it for free. There's no really like viruses. You just make sure you click on this one, not anything else. For free for commercial use. But yeah, But yeah, this is pretty much what I'm using for this project. So now what we're gonna do is we're going to rescale this picture. So with the scale picture, we're gonna find scale tool, click it, and since it's already linked, we're going to try to make it as small as possible that fits inside here, and scale. So that looks pretty okay for me. You can go in much more details how big you want it or small, but just for this purpose, we're trying to do this in a way that you know you understand. So now we're gonna do alignment tool. This is a must if you want to make this fish here be in the middle. I don't know, sometimes it works for me, sometimes it don't. I don't know what I'm doing, but make sure you just click it, and yeah, you see how it moves. There you go, it should be perfectly middle now. So now since it's in the middle, I want to make sure it's diagonal, so it'll be looking like a line going this way. So we click the rotate tool, click on that. I believe it was -45. Yep, and rotate. So that looks pretty good for me. I wanted the fish to look this way, so it'll be coming diagonal. And afterwards, we're going to use I think it's a layer. Yeah, let me see. Yep. After that words, we go into layer, transform, and offset. So this is how the pattern starts. And typically, you have some presets here. This is how it will look like when the pattern's coming down or down, up and down. It's like multiple fishes coming here. This is like vertical, horizontal, and both ways. We're gonna use this one because it covers a lot of space. Press OK. And you don't need a background like it says, so you just right click this, or left click should I say, and this should be by default already added to your pattern, which would be this first one. If you don't know what a pattern is, it says patterns here on the top right. So your pattern should be here. Now what we want to do is we want to go to file, edit, copy visible, which is copy the pattern essentially. And now we go to our previous overlay, and we go to bucket, go to BG, which is the background, go to pattern fill, and this should say the first one, clipboard image. And I want you to have it filled. Make sure you select none, because it might be selected to something. And then you just left click, and now you have your pattern of the fishes you made. Now again, of course, like I said, I don't know what my avatar is doing. He's just looking crazy, and his eyes are looking crazy. That's funny. That's funny. So I'm sorry if my avatar is acting crazy for some reason. It might be because the software isn't intentionally per se good, but yeah, I hope it just doesn't act crazy. But anyways, that pretty much sums up the idea of making a overlay. And why is my eyes for my character doing that? It's just so weird and freaky. But what I did is I added a circle here, and that circle pretty much, let me fix my time. So that circle pretty much, I just made a basic ellipse circle, which is this one right here, and I just did the same process with the pattern, and just made a circle here, and it looks way much more better. So essentially this is what you'll be using, and as a VTuber you don't need this webcam, so this is just a plus. Your actual viewer will go on this side, and then here this is more of a personal preference of what you want to add. Usually YouTubers or Twitch streamers or VTubers, they add their Twitter, their Facebook, their Twitch and any other information, or even add like some moving animation text here. You can add moving animation like GIFs per se. They will be running here when you put it on OBS Studio or whatever software you use. They will be running. So yeah, this is just a quick example of how to make a really fast overlay, and this is much more of a personal overlay. Essentially, you can use this. All you can essentially this is making it on GIMP without any like worries with licenses. You can use it quickly and make it easily. This is my first time using my Vroid, and this is the first time making a tutorial about making overlays. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.